I saw this yesterday. So it's week 1 in the college football world. Everybody's reacting, overreacting, underreacting, getting excited about it.
Do you think you properly reacted, overreacted?
I feel like I properly reacted. I don't feel like I'm, the Alabama stuff's been fun to dunk on. That's also a validation of a take that I've had for a while of like, I don't know if I trust them and I don't know if I trust DeBoer. So there was a lot of slam dunking in that regard yesterday, and we'll see if they can turn it around. Talk about a hot take out of week 1. The Oregon-Montana State game was on the Big Ten Network.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a butt on the call of that game.
There was a
butt on the call of that game. It was Jake Butt.
I don't know if I had heard him call a game that I couldn't remember what game he called that I heard.
I don't think he did any Oregon game. I think he mostly did Big Ten games that were like,
irrelevant
Maryland, Rutgers, and Michigan State and Iowa, and those kind of games.
Yeah, he was fine on the broadcast.
He was fine. I didn't have any issues with him. I thought he was okay. He then gets done calling the game. He flies back to Big Ten Network Studios.
Sure. Indy, right?
I believe in Indy. And then they got to start having their reaction shows from week 1. And this was said by Jake Butt yesterday.
More Butt.
Talk about an overreaction, underreaction, valid reaction to a win over. Yeah, you got to thought you
I was going to say, is it a big butt, little butt, normal butt?
Is this a big butt, little butt, normal butt take from Jake Butt on Dante Moore?
I think Dante Moore will be a top 10 pick. There's a formula here for Oregon that they followed, which is to get a transfer quarterback, Bo Nix, to go get a transfer quarterback, Dylan Gabriel. Both those guys were phenomenal. But Dante Moore is an even different level of talent. And I think it's his journey that is what is going to allow him to realize his full potential. The fact that he chose to sit and learned under Dylan Gabriel last year to understand this system with Coach Stein. Will Stein told us that when it's all said and done, Dante has a chance to be the best he's ever seen. And a great start. I understand they're going to play better opponents throughout the season. But, man, did Dante Moore look comfortable in the game this past weekend.
He did say that during the game.
He said the Stein comment, yeah.
Yeah, the Stein
comment. He did not say, I think he's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft.
No, Stein didn't say that
That's a pretty big butt take. Do we agree with the butt take?
So is this a BBL level take?
This is a BBL level take.
You think so?
I mean, yeah, after one game against Montana State, I'm as homer as you could possibly be, and even I'm not like, well, that's top. I mean, does he have the talent and the capabilities of it? Sure, I'm not ruling it out.
Well, you know what? The way we talked about this with Arch before the Ohio State game
this is a deep quarterback class too, man.
Is he going to be the first pick or is he going to come back? And a lot of us are like, he's going to come back. Where are you at with Dante on that? Is there a level of stat he achieves and he's like, I gotta go? Or is...
I mean, I think there for sure is, yeah. Like if he has a Heisman finalist season and throws 40 touchdowns and 6 picks and 4,000 yards, and you're like, dude, go.
In general, if you're a first-round grade, you gotta go because you're a quarterback.
The only reason would be, and I think you had this with Nix when he came back for another year, I don't think Nix would have been a first-round pick had he left after his first year at Oregon.
No, he was being discussed like...
second or third round, maybe?
Second, third, fourth.
His first year?
Yeah, after his first year at Oregon.
No, he was definitely not a day one guy.
And then, but I think also...
That's why he came back.
Sure, the other part of it, too, is like, how does the season end? Like, do you lose in heartbreaking fashion, and is that important to... Like, I think that's important to some guys of like, I want to go finish the job or trying to accomplish some goal. I've only had one full year as a starting quarterback.
Well,
do I need more seasoning?
Is it a big butt to say that the number 2 quarterback of his class becomes a top 10 pick in the NFL?
The quarterback class does not look very good right now, Bob.
I understand
That's a fun revisit of the top 5 quarterbacks that year in high school recruiting.
Well, I think Nimick has said this, that like almost 50% of the 5-star quarterbacks bust.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 coin flip.
I mean, it's not a guarantee because you get a 5-star quarterback, it's going to hit.
But you have in this class, Drew Aller.
Yeah.
Cade Klubnik.
Yep.
Nussmeier. Those are all guarantees.
Yeah. We'll see what Mateer does.
You got Mateer who has a choice, Lenora Sellers who has a choice, Arch Manning who has a choice. Like
Ty Simpson, of course, obviously.
Yes. Right.
Malik Murphy.
Carson Beck. Like, who knows what Carson Beck does this year at Miami?
Branson.
Fernando Mendoza got mocked at CBS as the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Did you see his stat line against Old Dominion? It wasn't impressive, but it was one game.
Well,
so
they didn't like dominate.
They did not light up Old Dominion in week 1. So you go through the list and it's like, that's a lot of quarterbacks that are coming out that will likely be first round. Like, teams are stupid, whether it's worthy or not. A lot of these guys are going to go in the top 10 because teams are desperate for quarterbacks. So I just thought it was interesting to have a guy who was around him and watch week 1 come out with that strong of a take. Like, it's one thing for a coach and Will Stein to talk about he might have the ability to be the best, or, we see him, becoming the best that we've ever coached here. You're going to get that from coaches. They want to hype their guys up. To have an analyst come out and say that after watching him against Montana State, I would say
Do you think? I don't think
I'm
it's
not
just
ruling
based
out
on
the take.
Montana State. He was kind of hinting at some of this stuff during the broadcast, and I think everybody would know going into that they expected them to do to Montana State what they did.
Yeah.
I think this is about talking to somebody like Will Stein, who in football circles has a lot of respect, his track record, what he's done to go from UTSA to what he's been doing at Oregon now with Nix and Gabriel. I think it's more that than it is, he watched him against Montana State and now he's got the take. I think the take was already cooked.
Yeah.
And he just
took it out of the oven.
He took it out of the oven. Yeah. He took it out of the butt.
Let me ask you this. Based off all the offseason
Right in the butt.
conversations that we've had, where would the surprise level be if in April we turn on the NFL draft and Dante Moore is a top 10 pick? Because it's been a running joke, and I don't blame people like you for, poking fun at it. And he threw pick sixes at Reeser, and he's going to get benched, and at some point he'll lose it. Like, that's been a running joke, and I get it. It's Oregon, and you take your shots when you can. To go from that kind of conversation of is this a weakness and where do they go with an inexperienced quarterback if he becomes a top 10 pick in the draft?
I think the tough part is we're getting so ahead of the season and how it's going to go.
Just slightly over our skis after one game.
But we also don't know what draft he's referring to. He could he
very
didn't
true.
specifically say this year. He just said he thinks he could be a top 10 pick.
Very true.
And I think numbers can exist where he has a really good year and he comes back and he loads up and says, wait till next year when I know even more and I reach Yoda level of Jedi quarterback play, plus whatever talent is going to be at Oregon next year, including DeCorey Moore. So he didn't specify. If you tell me it's this year he's a top 10 pick, out of a scale
1 year
of 1
as
to
a starter,
10,
and then Bolton?
I'd probably say an 8.5 to almost 9. I mean, I'm already on the record of saying he's not going to New York.
We got the sticky note ready to go.
See, there you go.
If he's a top 10 pick, I'd imagine he's there, but you never know. Quarterbacks usually are.
You get a couple quarterbacks, and then there's going to be a Caleb Downs that's probably going to be there. Maybe
your token defensive guy that has to go. You're like, let's invite that guy that we all know won't win the award.
Yeah, and then a receiver of some sort or a running back of some sort.
Right. Swag, where would the shock level be for you?
This year I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah.
If he has a good to great season and comes back and is one of then the front runners.
What's his size? He's 6'3", right?
Oh, he's big.
Pretty big
He's
kid.
plenty of size.
So,
I think all
he
the
has an
measurables-
offense. He has an NFL quarterback.
So
body.
size, speed, arm strength. You have to look at this from an NFL lens, not just a win-loss.
All
He's
of
like
it-
6'3", 6'4", 220.
All of it is
like he's
right
well built.
there.
So you got Nussmeier physically.
That was
Yeah.
the first thing that stood out to me. I remember last year seeing him at the first game on the sidelines of like Dylan Gabriel is so tiny.
Yeah.
And then Dante Moore standing next to him looked like he towered over him.
Well, he's
which he
bigger
does.
than Nussmeier. Nussmeier's listed at what, 6 foot, right?
6 foot. He's a little undersized.
He's bigger than
6'1".
Klubnik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aller's kind of his size.
Allard might be a little bit. Aller's one of those bigger bodies. You know.
But not as
Sellers,
athletic.
Sellers is athleticism.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sellers is the one.
He's a sneaky number 1 pick.
If he pops and South Carolina has a season,
They go 9-3, 10-2.
I could see him
Yeah.
being a runaway freight train
For sure.
PR wise.
After that, dude, I mean, maybe it's not as crazy as we think, given the size, the arm strength, and if
Well,
his
the other
numbers are
thing is how
respectable.
many NFL teams that are likely to be top 10 draft picks need a quarterback.
Oh, you're
Are
gonna
of
have
them.
are in the
Saints could
quarterback
be
market.
back in this conversation if
Dude,
Shuck sucks.
You go down the list of NFL teams that need a quarterback. Are you kidding me? Miami could be in a position to draft one. The
Cleveland.
Jets are terrible. Cleveland's terrible. They don't have a franchise.
The Colts.
The Steelers might be looking to take one if their season is the side of a mountain. The Colts, as you mentioned.
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals,
Even
for
though that
sure.
quarterback contract sucks.
I mean, I'd imagine at some point the Raiders thinking
Jets.
about drafting a guy. The Jets, like,
Yeah. There's a list.
it's a long list.
I
dude.
just wonder-
the
What are
Saints, the
Jags gonna do?
Panthers.
I wonder
The
how
Rams.
much NFL scouts still have in their mind what they saw him starting as a true freshman in UCLA and how much Dante has to perform consistently to overcome that stigma in some NFL
Yeah.
minds.
Yeah, I'm wondering if scouts still
I'm not
thinks
saying
about
it's
that
fair
or if that's
or it's
yeah.
the way that it should be,
Right.
but it comes down to human beings actually deciding this, that, or the other
I'll tell
thing.
you
And
right
if they've
now.
got something in their heads they can't get through or over.
These kids, I've told you this before, these kids don't follow football and watch the way we think they do because we talk like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many people in the camps of these top-end quarterbacks in college that are probably NFL worthy, how many are watching if Matt Stafford's back stays kind of weird and broken, the Rams being the team of like,
Yeah.
yo, could you be a 5-6 win team this year because your quarterback play blows?
Talk about a great place to go to play for Sean
That's
McVay and maybe
a
wait for a year
gift.
under Stafford or
Oh.
potentially land there. Like, dude, that would be ideal.
That's a gift.
By the way, speaking of Dante Moore, he was on the Program podcast. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's with the brand man and Cole Linehan.
Yes, I've heard of the program.
And they sat down with Dante Moore for their latest episode of the Program podcast. And he talked, I thought that was interesting about Moore and his journey to Oregon being a starter. He chose to sit last year. He could have gone and be a starter. Like Michigan threw a bag at him and wanted him to be the starter back in his home state. And he said
needed to
no.
learn.
He wanted to learn,
Yeah.
wanted to be in the system, and he talked about his film study process.
Overall, as a quarterback, that Sunday you're watching film of the recent game, about your coaching points, and then you're probably like the afternoon towards the evening, you're just starting to look at the team you're playing next week, and then Monday through Friday night you're watching film every day from like whatever time it is, after practice, from your practice film, and then watching the other team. So it's a lot of film that gets put onto there, of course. But the best thing about all of it is when you watch so much film prepare, and then you get, you go out there in the field and it's a certain look that you see on film, and you be able to be successful with the play and understanding like, hey, all these hours of film got put in for us to score on this drive. So it's a great feeling. Of course, it's very stressful, but it's nice.
Yeah, he was basically a shadow for a year, roomed with Dylan Gabriel on the road everywhere they went, watched film with him, and so we'll see how it plays out long-term for him.
I know
a
we're
strong take on Jake Butt, from Jake Butt on Dante Moore.
I know we're against it. The pedigree, too, of landing NFL talent, it's established, dude. He puts NFL players in, so that don't overlook that aspect of it.
Like, what would have been the reaction if I would have told people a year ago that Dylan Gabriel would be higher on the depth chart than Shedeur Sanders?
Would have
would've
laughed you out of the room.
Would have been pretty surprising. He was supposed to be a top 5 pick.
Even Nick's coming to Oregon and telling you he's going to be a top whatever pick. 12? Would he go 12 to Denver?
Somewhere in that range. Yeah.
That's the new Drew Brees. You would have laughed at me if you would have said that.
Had a good rookie year.
That noise, that was what we used to do listening to Doggy Style at somebody's house when he said the N-word. Yeah. What was that? Somebody kept turning it down and turning it up.
Stop changing the dial, Program man. That's Dante Moore on the Program podcast. You can go check that out. And Jake Butt saying he's going to be a top 10 pick. Now, both of you accurately pointing out he did not say what draft. So
that's why the take is good.
That is solid. He didn't say this
he can't
year.
be-
He didn't say in April he'll
can't
be
be
a top
held to
10
one,
pick.
yeah.
He just said he will be a top 10 pick. So strong takes coming on Dante Moore after 1 week against Montana State. We'll see how that plays out.